everyone, long time no talk on this channel. For various reasons, I've just been really busy with school. I haven't been reading as much and I haven't had as much time to film, but soon I will be done with the semester. I will be on summer break and I will have a lot more time to film videos and reviews, so I'm really excited about that. But I just wanted to I wanted to film an update video and just kind of talk about some of the books that I have read this year, which the number of books I haven't been able to get through is kind of sad, but I did read some long books, so I just want to kind of tell you about the books I've read and a little bit of my thoughts about them. If you want to see a complete list of what I have been reading lately, you can follow me on Goodreads. I will link my profile below. I'd love to be your friend on there because I love getting recommendations and all that. But okay, so now I'm going to talk about the books I have read recently. Okay, so the first book I'm going to talk about is A Game of Thrones. I finally got around to reading this book. I've been wanting to read it for a very, very long time, but I've been kind of putting it off because it was such a long book. It's over 800 pages, so it actually took me a month to get through. And I wouldn't say, it wasn't my favorite book. It's not that it's really hard to get into. I mean, but it's a little bit dense, but it was definitely a good book. It was, if you don't know, it's a really popular TV show, but maybe the TV show is easier to get into. I don't know. I felt like this book was a little bit hard to get through, the whole thing, because it took me a month to read it. I just wasn't as excited to read it, but I was still interested in the story, if you know what I mean. It wasn't totally boring where I was at the point of giving up, It was just it was an okay book. It's not a genre that I typically read a lot, but I still thought it was entertaining, and basically it centers around, I think it's set in medieval Europe, and it's about basically 3 different families and kind of their fight for control over the throne, basically. And there's betrayals and secrets and all that kind of stuff going on at the same time. And it follows a lot of different characters. Each chapter is told from the point of view of a different character, so it can also be kind of confusing to figure out who's who, especially when you start reading the book. And it also has some supernatural elements to it as well. So it kind of reminded me of Lord of the Rings, except of course it's set in the actual Europe, but it does have some supernatural elements to it too. So that was kind of interesting to read about it. So I think I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it. It was good. I would read the next one. I just don't know when I'm going to get around to it because there's so many other books I want to read and these take so long to read. I don't know. I might make it something where every year, every January, I read another Game of Thrones book. So overall, I liked it. If you're really into fantasy and those kind of stories, that sounds like something you would like. I bet you would love it. So that's my opinion on that book. Another book I wanted to mention was Forget Me by K.A. Harrington, and this was a really thrilling book. I could not put this book down. Basically, it's about a girl and she has this boyfriend. He's kind of quiet and shy and keeps to himself. She doesn't really know a lot about his home life because he's kind of hidden. It's not that great, so she just kind of doesn't press him on it. So she doesn't really know a lot about him actually. She knows him as a person and he's a really nice guy, it seems like. And then suddenly he gets hit by a car and killed, and it's just really tragic. And then a month later she posts, or a few months later, she posts a photo on Facebook or one of those social media sites, and it's kind of just a post to remember him and remember his life. And the photo, the face recognition technology suggests that she tag him as this other guy, and she finds out that there's this other kid living a few towns away that looks exactly like her old boyfriend. And so that's kind of how the story starts, is that she's wondering how can they look so alike? And so it's just starts into this whole mystery of what's going on. And then you can tell there are people who are telling her not to keep researching, but she's researching because obviously someone else involved in his death. His death was not just a random, someone wasn't looking. She thinks someone killed her boyfriend intentionally. So that's how kind of what the story is centered around. I would really recommend it if you like that type of thrilling story. Okay, then I also read Something Borrowed by Evan Lee. Okay, and then I also read Something Borrowed by Emily Giffin, and this was kind of just because I was in the mood for like a chick lit book, something like a really light read, and I guess I enjoyed this book. I didn't really enjoy the kind of like what it was based on, because I don't like reading books about cheating and that kind of behavior. I just don't feel like it's, I don't know, I tend to not like reading about that stuff as much. But besides that, it was really funny. But I guess I should have read the back of the book, because it's about a girl and she cheats, she ends up sleeping with her best friend's fiance, and just kind of the whole drama like centered around that. And some of the characters I just did not like at all, but it was still funny. So I think I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars, maybe a 2 out of 5. I think I gave it a 2 out of 5, just because I just didn't like the characters. I was not impressed with their behavior. I don't think there was one admirable character in the entire book, but it was still funny and entertaining. Another book I just read was Attachments by Rowell, and I loved this book. It was a really great read, and basically it is about this guy, and he is really just a loser. Like, he's one of those people who is still he's like, I think he's about 28 or like late 20s. He's still in school, you know, one of those people who keeps going back for like another master's degree. But it's like, when are you actually going to do something with your life? He still lives with his mother. Like, he doesn't really have much going for him at all, and he gets a job at a newspaper, and his job is to basically go in during like the night shift, and when like the people who work there, their emails get flagged for being inappropriate, he like has to like read through them and make sure like they're not saying anything that's really bad. And there's these 2 women that also work there, and they just email each other. They've been emailing each other, and they just have like all these personal conversations, but their emails get flagged just because they're personal, not because they're inappropriate really or anything, and they're not like stealing money from the company. But basically he starts reading their email, and he just kind of gets invested into their life. And so that's kind of what the story is about, is just how he he doesn't even know them, but he reads their email, and so you can kind of guess what happens after that. But I thought it was a really original story. I think I'd never read a book like that, and I just loved the ending. I thought it was kind of unrealistic a little bit, but it still was really nice. So I enjoyed this book, and I'd recommend it if you like chick lit books, easy reads, that kind of thing. Okay, so that was all I wanted to talk about in this video. Basically just give an update and talk about a few books I have recently read and that I wanted to share my opinion with you guys on. Again, I have read more books than that, so if you want to look at those, just visit my Goodreads profile and you can add me. I will add you back. And I guess that's it for this video. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more reviews. I will have more coming up, I promise. I know I have not been able to film a lot lately, but I will have a lot more time coming up. So I will see you all in my next video. Bye.